Hi everyone, nice to meet you all. I'm Shay. I will be reading John 20, 24 to 29. It will be the New King James Version, and I will be talking about Thomas. Okay. Now Thomas, called the twin, one of the 12, was not with them when Jesus came. The other disciples therefore said to him, "We have seen the Lord." So he said to them, "Unless I see in his hands the print of the nails, and I put my finger into the print of the nails, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe." And after 8 days, his disciples were again inside, and Thomas was with them. Jesus came, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst and said, "Peace to you." Then he said to Thomas, "Reach your finger here and look at my hands, and reach your hand here and put it into my side. Do not be unbelieving, but believing." And Thomas answered and said to him, "My Lord and my God." Jesus said to him, "Thomas, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believed." So I just want to talk about Thomas and how a lot of sermons have made him doubting Thomas, and how even when you look him up online, the most things about him will be doubting Thomas, like that is his name or something, when his name is actually Thomas. And I think it takes away from like his identity, because not only is this not just a characteristic of who he is, but this has become who he is. This has become the way that the world know him. This has become the way that the world addresses him. And I wouldn't want people to go around calling me Worrying Shay, because that's not who I am. That is an action that I sometimes partake in. But Worrying Shay is not the identity that God gave me, because he told us that cast our worries upon him, for he cared for us. And he told us that a doubtful man receives nothing from the Lord, because they do not know what they want. And so we are supposed to have a solid mind within him. But as we call Thomas doubting Thomas, that's not the characteristic of who God is. Okay. And also, after 8 days, his disciples were again inside. I believe that Thomas was still doubting over that period of time of 8 days, because he said unless God comes back and unless Jesus come back and he's able to do these things, put his hand there and things of that sort, he won't believe. So I believe that he was still doubting until Jesus returned. And so Jesus returns, and he told Thomas to do all the things that he said he needs to do in order to believe. And I believe it's the same way with some people that don't believe without seeing, that God will find a way that they will believe because they have seen the things that he has done for them. Whether it's them praying like, "God, show up in this way," or "God, move in this situation." I believe that God would do that because he wants people to believe in him. He's not slow to return to us, because he don't count slowness as we do. He's hoping that everybody will come to repentance and come to know him. And so I believe that he does things so that people can believe, even if they need to see it. And then God said, "Blessed are those that believe without seeing." He never cursed Thomas and said, "Well, since I had to show you, now I have to curse you." All he said was, "Blessed to those who believe without seeing." And so I think that's very important, because yes, sometimes we might die. Yes, sometimes we might worry, but God is not cursing us because we do those things. He blesses us when we do the things that are like him, or when we do the things that everybody else isn't doing. But he does not curse us when our natural instincts or our humanity shows up. And so, yes, it is important to believe, and it is important to know that some people might not believe without seeing. But it's important that God will show up in the ways that they need him to, so that they will be able to believe also. So I just wanted to share this point of view and perspective of Thomas, because I really feel like sometimes we can be so insensitive, or we can name call people and not really know that we're giving them a new identity of something that God has never called them. When he showed up to talk to Thomas, he never said doubting Thomas. He always said Thomas. And the sermons are good when it's preaching about doubting and this and that, but it's also just shown in a different light right here. So I thank you all for listening, and I hope you understood what I was trying to say, what I was trying to express, and just continue to be blessed and trust in the Lord, his guidance, his faithfulness, and all the things that he can and will do. Bye-bye, you guys. I love you.